This in which you're about to hear is a perfect example of pushing a product out there that you love, but your fans do not. So Jemammy Hill has a book that she released back in October, and honestly, I didn't even know she had a book, because honestly, quite frankly, I don't care, where it was titled Uphill. Well, this book has done everything but go uphill, because it literally went in the complete and utter opposite direction, which was a downward spiral. So she released this book back in October 25th to be exact. And since then, this book has only sold 5,034 copies. I kid you not. This book has been out for well over a month, going on 2 months, and it only sold to date 5,034 copies. Let's see what they're talking about. And this article that I'm reading from is coming from MSN via The Spun, I believe that's what it's called. It says former ESPN host Jemele Hill published a memoir earlier this year. Well, it's not so much earlier this year because it's just a couple months ago, but still, I get what they're saying. Unfortunately, the book sale numbers are reportedly not great. According to Outkick, Hill has sold a little more than 5,000 copies so far. Uphill has sold just 5,034 copies since its October 25th release, according to publisher data. The sales for the memoir are on par with self-published cookbooks from aspiring authors who write as a side hustle, and Hill is a seasoned full-time journalist, according to Outkick reported on Sunday afternoon. Sports fans have taken to social media to weigh in. To be fair, that is 5,001 copies more than mine has sold, but I haven't gotten done with chapter 2 yet, one fan wrote. I can't believe 5,000 people actually bought it. Would love to see an audit of sales, another fan wrote. I wonder how much she was paid. Book advances seem to be the new payment for services to the cabal. Jemele Hill wrote a book no one wanted to read. How could a publisher not know that was going to happen? Do they not have it in market analysis? Does publisher have shareholders? One fan added. Hill has been largely successful in sports media, but not everyone can be a best-selling author. And that's the entire article right there. So basically what she did was that she felt like, oh, I have all these people who watch me on social media, I have all these followers and all this stuff right here that, you know, maybe I could write a book, and all the people that retweet what I post or agree with what I talk about and all this stuff, that they will go out and support me in this book. But as you can see, that's definitely not the case. Now, Jemele Hill has well over 1 million followers on Twitter. Whenever she posts something, it's going to gain attention one way or another because she has a huge following on social media. But as you can see in real life, it's not translating. As they say, the math ain't math. And how is it that you have all these followers on social media, but you can't get some of those same followers, not even half of them, to go out and support your book? This woman only sold 5,034 copies of her book to date. This is the most promo I have ever seen for her book, was to tell us, the audience, that she only sold 5,034 copies of her book. Because honestly, like I said, I didn't even know she had a book out there. And it, you know, and like someone said in the comments, who really cared? No one was looking for a book from Jemele Hill, especially since a lot of people don't be meshing with the stuff or agreeing with the stuff that she be putting all over social media. Now, this is Jemele Hill's long-awaited karma, because remember when that post went up back in 2017 on the rot, as I like to call it, from that Damon Young trying to say the heterosexual black men were the white men of the black community, and she went and retweeted it in agreement, and we put her on blast about that, and we've been putting her on blast ever since. Especially since a couple weeks prior to that, she had said some things that we had agreed with that ended up getting her ousted from ESPN. At that time, it was temporary before it led to eventually becoming permanent. And we, as in black men, some of the main men that was watching her, because at that time it wasn't a lot of black women on ESPN like that. And Jemele Hill was one of those main ones that black men was watching because she gave commentary, you know, when it came to sports. We stuck up for her when that happened, and she was working with a black male co-host at the time as well that stuck his neck out there in his career as well for her too, only for her to turn around 2 weeks later and pull that stunt that she did. And then ever since then, she showed her natural ass. Like, that's when it's like, good thing we pointed that out at the time when she did that, because then her real side started to float right on through. And this is what we got. Well, this is what she gets. Oh well, Jemele had fun. I guess authoring is not exactly, in the deck of cards for you. Go back to doing whatever it is that you're doing. But then don't be mad at us. Be mad at your so-called fans, your followers and everything. You're finding out otherwise, that your followers aren't that much of a supporter anyway. And even when they were reading the quotes from what people were saying, they said that these people were fans. Now, I don't know if they were fans or not, but sometimes fans can be critical. They should be. You don't want to kiss your idol's ass all the time. And even they said they weren't looking for a book from her. What does that tell you? That even the people that quote unquote support Jemele Hill don't want to see her writing no book. Or if it has nothing to do with maybe her time at ESPN, like a tell-all book, they'll go out and buy that because people love drama. But they ain't trying to read whatever this is about supposed to be. I don't even want to know what this book is about, because I don't care. If I wanted to know what it was about, I would just go and get it. But since I don't care, I don't have to worry about it. 5,034 people, that is sad. And I was reading somewhere else where they said that where this ranked as far as Amazon, they said this ranked at like 2,961, I believe, if I can remember that number, as far as where it ranks on the Amazon bestsellers list for books. That is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. She couldn't even crack 10,000. She barely cracked 5,000. Remember, it's 5,034. She's more closer to 5,000 than she is the 5,100, or I should say 5,500. Let me put it that way. This is probably the best this book is ever going to get. And because the book did so poorly, that means that the publishing company lost a lot of money, because they, put their neck out there for her, which means she also lost money as well. Just imagine a Jemele Hill sitting up there writing this book, this how many chapters or pages it is, only for 5,034 people to get it. And then on top of that, you got a question. When those people got it, did they even get it for themselves, or did they get it to somebody else? Did they even read it? Did they even finish reading it? So, but yeah, a sell is a sell, but come on. 5,034. That's all Jemele Hill's pen game is worth.
Lord, I'm having a heart attack. Damn, this is some scary shit.